What's your favorite Linkin Park song? Mine is the Pokemon Team.
I wanna be the very best. No one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause.
What about Freddie Mercury? Maybe My Heart Will Go On?
There's nothing I fear. My heart will.
Let's go with Frank Sinatra. Maybe Gangster's Paradise?
Spending most their lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most their lives living in the gangster's paradise.
And I'm sure you know the song Bring Me Back to Life by Evanescence, but have you ever heard Cartman from South Park singing it?
My spirit sleeping somewhere cold.
Just slaps hard. So, these are all AI covers, and this is how they work. Somebody takes a lot of vocal tracks from a certain singer, let's say Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, then they put it into an algorithm, which is basically a machine that tries to learn the finesses of the human voice. For example, Chester Bennington is really raspy and sounds aggressive and just has the most beautiful aggressive angel voice, and then the algorithm is trying to learn it as much as possible. And the more that you put the vocal tracks and the longer they are, the better it will do at learning these things. Then you can basically use any vocal track, put it into a program and say, okay, now change the waveforms and the timbre of this track to match Chester's timbre and uniqueness. And of course, people are going crazy about these covers because people are naturally curious about how would some of their famous songs sound if some of their other famous bands and singers were to cover it. And this is the closest thing that we can do now, especially with singers that passed away, like Chester, bless his soul. He had such a beautiful voice, such a powerful voice, and I think that nothing will ever replace Chester. There's not a singer alive, but this is the closest that we can get sometimes. And although I don't see Linkin Park doing this and creating new songs, I find it fun listening to some of these songs being sung with a Chester timbre because I just miss the dude so much, and listening to some songs that he didn't sing before but that would kind of fit his persona as well just makes me feel these goosebumps. For example, when I was a teenager, one of my favorite bands was Sum 41. Absolutely love them. And the lyrics from the song Pieces were definitely something that I could imagine Chester singing.
I tried to be perfect, but nothing was worth it. I don't believe it makes me real.
Of course, the track that you're putting into this AI, the more that it's similar to the original voice, it's going to do a better job. So Chester has a beautiful vibrato, he has a beautiful rasp, and sometimes people record themselves, do a real cover, and try to nail all of these finesses as much as they can. Then they transform it into a famous singer's voice, and I found that that's the way these songs are going to sound best. But this would happen sometimes when somebody uses the original voice track of a song, for example, in this case, Eminem, Mockingbird. It just tries to transform that track into a different singer. Sometimes it can work if their voices are similar enough, at least if they have the similar amount of vibrato at least, but in this case it didn't really work too much. Somebody made an AI cover of Mockingbird using Tupac's voice, and up to a point it's okay, but just listen.
But things have got so bad between us, I don't see us ever being together ever again. Like we used to be when we was teenagers, but then of course everything always happens for a reason. I guess it was never meant to be, but it's just something we have no control.
This sounds
over,
okay.
that's what destiny is. When no hope worries, rest your head and go
This
to
is all
sleep.
fine.
Maybe one day we'll wake up and this will all just be a dream. Now, what's little baby details she'll cry, everything's gonna be alright. Slipping that up on the porch, little lady. I told you, daddy said I'll hold you through the night. I know Robbie's all here right now, when we till now. We still, I'm still inside. They may seem a little crazy, pretty baby, but I promise gonna be alright.
So I'm not sure, maybe this guy didn't do a good job transforming it, but Tupac is not nailing any of these pitches, he's just singing in one note and it just sounds weird. So sometimes you'll have a decent end result, sometimes it's going to be bad. Again, it mostly comes to how much time you put and how many tracks you put originally to make this AI learn the voice that you want to replicate. I really don't know what to think about this tool. In one sense, yes, it's fun, and it's definitely interesting hearing, let's say, a male singer sing a female song, especially in the original key. Like Freddie Mercury had a big range, and he could have sung Celine Dion, and they have a pretty similar amount of vibrato, so it works together. And I find that these covers are usually made with singers that have passed away. I guess people are just missing their voices, missing them a lot, and this is sort of a way to keep them alive in a sense. I find it all kind of fun, but on the other hand, I'm really afraid that this tool could be used in a bad way. Somebody can make an entire album of your favorite band or your favorite singer, and these bands and singers maybe could not even know about it. Not to mention things that could be done in politics, sending messages with the president voice to somebody else, starting wars and stuff, you know. These things need to be regulated somehow, and we're not at that point, not by far. And also, if you're using somebody's voice, for example, you want to do a AI Taylor Swift cover. Could Taylor Swift benefit from that? Could she earn any money if somebody is using her voice? Could she lend it? Could she rent her voice, let's say? So these are all the new questions that we shouldn't have asked a couple of years ago or even half a year ago, but now that are emerging. It's an interesting topic, so let me know your thoughts in the comments.